I began when I left school in 2012. शेफ बनेगा, क्या करेगा बन के शेफ? बावर्ची बनेगा, अरे लड़कों वाले काम कर. These were the taunts that were made when I decided to do hotel management. As a chef, as a child, I always wanted to do hotel management, but I always dreamt of it. Never expected it to be a not very accepted profession when I joined in. MasterChef was there. It was the #1 television show in the country, but it was only limited to 9 p.m. time slot. As every step has a first, the beginning is always tough. Coming in the field of hospitality changes you drastically. No more baggy hair, no more baggy clothes, no more long hair. It just suits, clean shaves, a lot of discipline. Trust me, a lot of discipline. There were days, and trust me when I say this, there were days I used to shave before I used to brush. And that's how hospitality grooms you as a person. Something that importantly I learned being a part of hospitality is whether you're at home or wherever you are, it is nothing that is small. No job is small, no task is small. Everything that builds up is very important when you do something of a good stature. Even if it's cleaning the commode, even if it's washing plates, wiping plates, all of that, it leads to a very important experience when you talk about doing it for the guest. I relate to this very much because when I was a child, I used to be a part of the Swaminarayan Mandir in Delhi, where I used to spend all my summer vacations in. My most important job used to be in the kitchen, in the seva, either cleaning, doing the basics of cooking, helping here and there. But that's where I learned that the entire point of being there is to understand that nothing in the kitchen or nowhere, no matter any other department that you work in, nothing is small. Even back in college, when we were taught to do a lot of stuff, we never thought that this is an odd job. The reason for that is, when you want to lead an organization, you need to understand what the basic is. To be a general manager of a hotel, you need to know how a WC is cleaned. That's the most important part. I sharply remember, I overslept one evening in college. I was really tired after my practicals and I went back to sleep. My mentor then, Chef Mukul Sarkar, called me up and said, "Why did you miss dinner?" I said, "I was really tired and I slept." My punishment was to be in the cafeteria kitchen for an entire year after college hours. It really irritated me a lot. Imagine 9 to 5 college, 5 to 9:30 you're cooking for your own batchmates as a punishment. But now when I look back to it, it was a learning. Nobody got that opportunity to be a part of the kitchen after college hours. But when I was there, it made me different and made me better for my batchmates. When we talk about life lessons beyond the classroom, most of you all here might agree that I was never a classroom person. And it took me a while to get a knack of the industry. But was fortunate enough to be a part of something that was very fortunate to get through. I was a part of the India Skills competition that was organized by the Government of India. It came on my door and I was asked to represent for the college, participated in the state levels, won it, went to the national levels. It gave me great exposure in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen, never in class, but it always gave me what I wanted to do. And it helped me to be better than all the regions of India. At the end of the day, if you have to be on the top and represent India, you need to be better than who you are. I realized then that I was not a classroom person, and I enjoyed everything in the kitchen. Even making friends with the dishwasher. I still remember when I was in college, we used to call our dishwasher Mama. Late 50s guy, and he used to always be with us. I remember I used to have my meals with him. And during the meals, he used to share a tip here and there. Maybe an 18-year-old kid would never understand where it will come to use. But during these competitions, that one tip used to help me a lot when it came up to either beating time or maybe if I've added more salt or something like that. Those tips made me understand how important those guys are in the kitchen. I landed up in Delhi for my training under late Chef Rajesh Varya, who was my mentor during the entire competition and the entire journey. He mentored me, and I can for a fact say that he made me a chef. The difference between a chef and a cook. He transformed me from a cook to a chef. Yeah, he taught me how to cook, yes. But he also taught me how to build a team, build a kitchen and run it different. Run it in an efficient manner. His only ask was dedication. That was the only thing that he asked for. I still remember we were planning a very small recipe. We were trying a chili mango salsa. And I still remember I made it 47 times. 47 times, it's irritating because when you understand you have to make the same thing again and again and again, 47 times in 2 hours. He taught me the knack for perfection. And that's very important when we come up to stages where we do food for the heads of states, even as a matter of fact as a guest at the restaurant that we serve in. Then when it came to 2017, as every hotel management graduate dreams of, I was selected to be a management trainee at the Indian Hotel Company Limited, the parent company of Taj Hotels. No one knew what was the journey, no one knew what we would do, and our team director then, Miss Natalie, rightly said that these 2 years will be full of ambiguity. We didn't know where we are, we didn't know what property we were going to be in. The only thing we knew was to keep our bags packed all the time. One day in Bombay, one day in Delhi, one day in Bangalore, different hotels, different cultures, different people, different friends, different colleagues in fact. It made us ready to accept wherever we are, we have to work. It made us ready to take any challenge that came up in front of us. Whether it be cooking for the Prime Minister, after 3 days of travel, you landed in Varanasi at 5 a.m. in the morning, and at 7 in the morning, you're setting up the kitchen. No sleep for 3 days straight, and you are happy, you're content. That's what that taught us. At the age of 21, I landed up at the Hotel of Dreams, the Taj Mahal Palace, Bombay. I still remember I stepped in the kitchen as a trainee, and I'd sweared not to get back there again. But as fate would suggest, I landed up as junior sous chef Shamiana at the Taj Mahal Palace, Bombay. One of the busiest kitchens of the city, and a favorite, and I'm sure the older people would understand, it's a nostalgic feeling for every person to be a part of that restaurant. Walking in the kitchen at 21, where my team was ranging from the age of 19 to 59, and walking in as the second in charge as a boss, you get a lot of clashes of ego. I was thrown into a puddle by them multiple times, them screwing up for me deliberately, not accepting me because the 21-year-old coming in, becoming the boss, it's not really easy to accept that. But sooner or later, Chef Pujari, my boss then, helped me navigate and to win their hearts. Very soon it became 35 friends working together in a kitchen where you barely had time to talk to each other, but we developed a language which only we could speak of. And we could understand. I still remember I had a colleague of mine called Griffin. Him and I are still very close. We used to give out orders to each other and nobody understood what's happening in the kitchen. And it was our language that the two of us understood. And that's how we used to function in the kitchen 14, 15, 16 hours a day. This entirety was put to test when the COVID-19 broke loose. All of us were stuck in a hotel, 117 in a hotel. It made us grow together like a family. I still remember my tandoor cook Kishore. He used to walk up to me every day at 3 o'clock with a thali full of roti, sabji, dal, little bit of rice and roti. And he used to pull me from my collar and bring me at the table. It's like, aapko khana padega. Because you usually have lunch by 1:30, and this is when he used to come to me, pull my collar at 4:30 in the evening. He was in his late 40s or maybe early 50s, but he used to treat me like a son. Every day. He used to make sure that I'm eating, make sure that I'm drinking, I'm having enough water, I'm there for them. He used to make sure that used to happen. So that was the team that we built. That's the camaraderie that we had. Until date, it's been 2 years that I left Taj, but it's still date that either of them, they call me or I call them, that bonding is still present. Most importantly, what the industry teaches us is to smile. Is to smile at all times. It brings out a shield in you to be positive and smile through everything that comes at you. And I'm not even joking. It makes you ready for every challenge, every difficulty, and most importantly, inculcates patience. You have a guest yelling at you at the top of his voice, Because why? खाने में ज़्यादा salt हो गया. That's a very small thing. I'm sure all the cooks at home would understand that गलती से थोड़ा salt ज़्यादा हो सकता है. But a guest yelling at you at the full volume and you're like, we'll get it corrected for you, sir. So whatever you do, you always have to have that smile in front of you. And it makes them assured that however bad you are screwed up in the kitchen, you're going to do something great for them ahead. Just a very small instance, I had a guest of mine who only wanted to have food from my hands. If I am not there, she will not come. I still remember one day, I was really tired and I really didn't want to cook. And I was on the counter of the kitchen and she ordered for a pasta. She ordered for a pasta and we went in and she said, this is not made by you. I said, okay, I'll go back and make a fresh one. It's a trade secret. I went back, put it up on the pan, put it back on the plate, took it to her and she had it happily. Just the assurance of the smile and the confidence that we used to carry as a chef was very important then. And this used to happen multiple times. And by talking about making things happen as a chef, 7 years of penance, and earlier this year, I established my own culinary space called Sage Cafe and Pantry. When I talk about Sage, when we were planning Sage, we always thought about how are we going to do it, what's the concept, how are we going to do things, where do we put it in, where do we locate it. But it always brought me back to Thakur Village. The reason I came back to Thakur Village to open a place like Sage is because one, I've grown up here and I've studied here. I've seen the place evolve. I wanted to introduce something to this place which one was never done here before. I took it up as a challenge and saves you real travel time to go far to Andheri or Bandra to have something same like this. I took it up as a challenge to do an all-European cafe in the heart of Thakur Village and tantalize everyone's taste buds. I realized a society is built only when the people want to make it grow and prosper. A lot of us, when we venture out to businesses, we try and go out and figure out places which are going to be fancy, posh, or maybe high profitable, high footfall driven. But when I see Sage, it gives me content every evening. When I walk into the cafe and a guest is walking out saying, I love the meal at Sage, it gives me a good night's sleep. And I say this because I've been here for 20 years. In my 20 years of living here, I've never seen a cafe which was serving pure European food. And it's giving me content also at the same time because the societies and the community is changing. It is slowly accepting and moving forward to newer cuisines. And now is actually ready to move on from the 9 AM time slot. From the Master Chef, when you think about कि 9 बजे तक ही Master Chef पे chef अच्छा लगता है, to now when we talk about having a cuisine which is not explored in this region, it makes a real difference in the community. Thank you so much.